Oh yeah, it's the daily. It's part 3. We're looking at Widow Mines with Marine Marauder Medivac. That creates 4 M's. Marine Marauder Medivac Mine. Love watching this matchup. We're now going to see the conclusion of this game, having seen the opening in part 1 and some of the cool tactics in part 2. I just love so much the way that BeastyQT had a clear switch point where he was doing the drill up one big lane, doing a big direct attack, and then suddenly switched gears into multiple pronged attacks. All came right at the time when he needed his fourth and saw them Ultralisks. There was one thing I wanted to say before we began, and I can't remember, so I won't say it. A fair assessment. Just call me Fair Assessment 9. Call me Squeaky Chair 9. Oh, yes. Alright. I'm going to wrap up this, take some questions, and then I'm going to be doing some After Hours Gaming League Week 4 casting action. So BeastyQT continuing to perform these drops, very easy to get away. Now just single or 0 scans are needed in a lot of circumstances. This, having armies holding patterning like that, is actually a reasonable play. Because if our opponent ever gets out of line, we punish him. It's very easy to do this little mistake. And this is exciting for me because now first I'm just gonna go to this screen because I apologize, I need to blow my nose. Excellent. I've now thrown it away and I'm ready to engage with you. You know, I was so satisfied to be blowing my nose, I don't remember at all why I have the camera on myself right now. Now I do. Okay, cool. In Wings of Liberty, things had, in my just general opinion, things felt quite binary. The thing happened or it didn't. There was no in-betweenedness. So, I mean, for instance, fungal growth is instant. You know, it's either like you don't quite get the fungal off or you nail it and it's amazing. And sure, your opponent can sort of spread out a little bit and you can't get as good a fungal, but it was very much so land it or don't. Just bam, boom. Bam or no bam, I guess. Or like, let's say it's Protoss vs. Zerg. You either had that Immortal and you could hold off that Roach attack, or you did not have that Immortal, so you could not hold off that Roach attack. It had that binary feel, which is honestly, I think, fine. I have no inherent problem with that at all. Chess, for instance, is completely binary. You can't have your bishop be controlled really well and capture 2 pieces in 1 turn. It doesn't work like that. But what I love about this is that Widow Mines, the way they're used, you can position them well and bait them in and have a like maximum efficiency blow at 100%. You can do decent positioning and get 60% use out of them. You can have bad positioning and get 20% use out of them. There's this full range of possibilities with the Widow Mine that really excites me and I find really rad. Also, I just noticed, I collect a lot of gaming and Blizzard paraphernalia. You can know by like the StarCraft and Diablo posters there. We got a whole bunch of StarCraft calendar things up here. You can see various stuff all around my room. But I realized today I actually have a Mists of Pandaria hoodie and a World of Warcraft Cataclysm cup. Yeah! Oh, and I'm wearing a Husky t-shirt and he likes WoW as well. So any WoW players out there, hello. I've never played World of Warcraft, but I kind of wish I had. Everyone I know has had that amazing like arc from like early 2004, I guess it was 2005 when it first came out till now. That's kind of cool. Yeah, Marky's in chat. He's like, why do you have those on? You don't even play WoW. But either way, I like this excellent range that we see of possibility here. I would generally say that this seemed like weak placement to me. 1 or 2 mines here with some spread, but having 3 clustered. Having 3 clustered this is the equivalent of warping in 3 Dark Templar to a guy's base. If you warp in 1 Dark Templar, you're saying, I hope he doesn't have detection. If you're warping in 3 Dark Templar, you're saying, I really, 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 really hope he doesn't have detection. Same thing here. This is either going to go amazingly well or ridiculously poorly. Fortunately, it goes amazingly well. So cool. Identify the armies there with forward mine placement. Drop. Drop. Scout. And easy peasy lemon squeezy, position easy. And just because we say M doesn't mean that we can't build tanks. That's fine. BeastyQT looks like he is transitioning into a more static force. I see no problem with just pulling back and getting more tanks at this juncture. But we just got ourselves our planetary up, so we're happy about that. The drops continue to be very effective. My sound continues to be highly variable. But now we're actually getting to see the sort of collected effect. This is another one of these, what happens when we have a cluster of mines? I have said, in theory, we should be able to drop and then prevent an attack like this from doing huge damage. Eventually, an attack like this will be able to make headway towards us. We can't just have only mines and hope to stay alive, but the fortunate fact is that we have quite a lot here. So as we kind of step into this battle, initial packs of banelings and mines, or some banelings and legs, certainly get annihilated by those widow mines. But what we're seeing more and more is that the Ultralisks are excellent attack absorber units, because these do 125 splash damage, but Ultralisks tend to be so huge that I'm not 100% sure of this, but I think that the radius of the Ultralisk prevents anything but units directly touching the Ultralisk from taking damage. So in other words, Ultralisks are perfect for this. I don't know why the sound has decided to max itself out, but this here variableness is killing my soul. You know what? Screw this. Sound disabled. The sound is being punished. So if there was a lead forward with Ultralisks, we'd have squishier Ultralisks, but all the Ling Baneling would survive. BeastyQT still will have this same struggle that no matter how good that mine connection is, there always needs to be a force to be able to withstand this. And these single Ultralisks, quite the trouble. So this is kind of what we were seeing yesterday. Why is it so loud? Dang. Why is it slowly creeping up in terms of sound all game long? This is craziness. Is there like a sound option? Move sounds. What? What does move sound mean? Enable reverb? What, increases sound realism? I don't want that. Sound quality high? That's fine. Yeah. Game volume during alerts? What? Oh, while alerts are playing. I have trouble hearing alerts over. Game volume during alerts. Is it 80%? I'm going to try this. Jeez, there's all these new options, man. Alright. Oh my god, that's so loud. Oh my god. Reverb, let's put that on. Let's just I'm stressed out. Sound disabled. Oh my god, you guys. Thank goodness. Woo! Oh. Alright, in the meantime, we're still dropping. Excellent. Oh, man. What a relief. Oh, this sounds so much better. So yeah, all them droppings in all them directions. I will note just that the general clusteratedness of the mines, I think, definitely hurt BeastyQT there. Everything else about BeastyQT is helping him. Not only his general use of these dropping techniques, but also his dash, cunning, assaults at the front, and his charming, suave look. And we can just abandon those two marauders. Those were traitors. They needed to be punished. We're seeing this kind of cool hit and run, poke all around, in-your-face displacement. I wanted to just briefly rewatch this attack, where Day 9 rewinds frickin' way too far. But yet again, Widow Mines being just sort of haphazardly burrow-unburrowed, like in this situation, burrowing all of them. We get some blasts off. Turns out to be fortunate, but we need to have some spread to these. Just the straight burrow is not quite enough. Because we'll even have mines double targeting. You know, having two Zerglings next to each other, and then they each absorb one of those shots. We can also clearly see that Ultralists function quite well against mines. More dropping action. I'm unsure if I would describe BeastyQT as being over-aggressive with these drops. But it is still nice to see that even if he is being over-aggressive with the drops, the defensive capabilities back home are more than enough. I would emphasize that I think that the thing that is going right in these situations is that the Zerglings are leading. So the Ultralisks, in theory, should be leading to absorb the mine shots. But as a simple adjustment, we, the Terran players, just go Marauders, Mines, Marines. Marauders lead to deal with any Ultralisk threat. And if there is no Ultralisk threat, we just retreat and the Mines clean everything up. This expansion, we're still having trouble getting it up, so we do these multi-pronged harassments. Like that. And either he has to commit to a counterattack that will not be a profitable exchange for him, or he has to pull back and defend. So since our Zerg player does not elect to pull back and defend, we will go ahead and enable the sound. There it is. It is the loudest thing I've ever heard. Simple kiting, simple defense, countering on the other side. Works nicely because our opponent is going for ling+infestor. Now what I'm going to do is perform a test. I'm going to rewind this to the start of the game while you start posting questions. And I just want to hear, like... Is it just me or is it quiet? Wow. Sounds quiet now. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna try this. Huh. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So Vildar asks a very reasonable question. He says, Day 9, what is the best way to answer? He asked the question, what's the best way to answer Widow Mines as a Zerg player? In my eyes, the best way to answer Widow Mines is, just generally speaking, doing a lot of leading with Zerglings and or speed overlords to try to clear paths out. I think it's inevitable that you will lose small packs of units just trying to scout out and clear the mines, but it is possible to drive a Terran player back and regain map control as a Zerg player. If a Widow Mine does go off, it's essentially a dud unit for a really long time. I mean, paying frickin' 75 minerals, 25 gas, and 2 supply to kill off some health of an overlord before dying is really bad. Especially given that you are eating up your ability to make tanks if you are making Widow Mines. I mean, these are some significant losses that the Terran is suffering in order to build the Widow Mines. God, my eyes are so dry. I don't know if this will always happen after a nap, but so be it. So I think that Zergs will be getting a little bit more cautious, perhaps having a lot more overseers march out onto the field with speed to be able to dart in, sustain a hit, pull back. Yeah. Prometheus 0099 says, Day 9, both yesterday's and today's games seem to go slightly longer than an average game. Do you think M build is only a long-term play that becomes the strongest late-game play? What I actually think is, my short answer is no. I don't think it's just something that needs to win in the long game. Again, forgive me, I'm going to blow my nose. Aha! I don't think that it only works in the long, or in the late game. Or let me rephrase it. I don't think it necessitates a long game by electing to go for Marine Marauder, Medivac Mine. I think that what we're seeing is a new style that has yet to be refined. BeastyQT is the only Terran player I've seen play with this style extensively in a for serious situation. So I certainly think players will be snatching it up, adjusting it, refining it, and we will see it become a lot more killer. In this raw, unrefined, dirty state, we still see that BeastyQT is able to perform very well against a Zerg player who's going muta+ling and ling+infestor. There are other compositions like swarm hosts, for instance. Send locusts ahead and those will absorb mine shots, and then what are we going to do? There's a possible solution that we haven't really seen in action. I don't want to make any statement as to whether that's good or bad because there's a whole lot of other factors involved. But there you go. There's one possibility that hasn't been considered, that hasn't been refined. Another possibility that hasn't been refined, maybe people will figure out that the best way to do it is to go factory reactor and then to build 8 mines and then do no Widow Mine production until the late game. Maybe this will be the new style. Maybe in the mid game you don't really need Widow Mines. Maybe you just need them in early and late. We're seeing similar things in Terran vs. Zerg and Wings of Liberty, right? People figured out very early on that Reactor Hellion opening is a solid opening against Zerg. But it took a year or so for everyone to kind of agree that 4 to 6 Hellions was about a sweet spot for standard play. It took a long time to get to there. And then after that point, you don't build any more Hellions. In the early beta days, it was like, well, I guess I'm going to rush for a Reactor Factory, and I'm going to build like 16 Hellions, and then I'm going to go Marine. You know, there's kind of these weird, stocky, jarbly, jarring, transition-y things. So I definitely think that, hell, there's a lot of mid-game pushes that work well. I mean, we even saw BeastyQT almost win outright in yesterday's daily. So let me just yawn. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. Luna of Equestria asks if I ever eat while on the toilet. Yes, absolutely. I live in America where we multitask. We try to layer as many things together as possible. I'm also playing Wordament on my phone at that time as well. Freaks80 asks if I can keep his shout-out in the VOD. Well, this shout-out will be on the VOD. Go Freaks. Finished his homework. Yeah, Killer Instinct asks a question kind of similar to before. Would siege tanks be good support for M&M, i.e. Marine Marauder, Medivac, Mine? I still think that's another one of those, like, room for exploration. I mean, tanks are a great mid-game unit. How's this for a transition? Let me just throw this at you. You start off with a factory going mines. And then you lift off, you land the factory, and then you get the tech lab so you can make tanks. And then you're doing standard marine, tank, medevac play. And as you are doing that, you research the fast burrow upgrade for mines. Then, once you hit late game, you lift the factory and land it on a reactor and go back to mine production. So you go mines into tanks and get that key upgrade, and then go back to mine production. Another way to explore. But obviously I have like 5 replays of Marine Marauder Medivac mine. And for any of you who didn't know, I generally try to watch hundreds of replays a week. That is the goal. Hundreds of replays to be able to actually have a stable understanding and to be able to have lots of references. Because let's be honest, I'm not playing a lot, so I'm not sitting down and going, it really feels like there is a issue at this time because I'm losing here, or haha, I found a way to win. I just need hundreds of other people's games to look at to get their information on it. So until I actually get those games, I am more than content to say I have no idea, but it feels cool, the concept. Oh yeah, last one, last one, last one, last question, last question. Oh, Noctilatum asks me if I'm getting married. I don't see the engagement ring, but let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest. Wonderful person. A beautiful, fine individual sent me a ring. I don't know if you can see it, but it says Day 9 engraved right on it. And will I, dear community, I do. I will marry you. I love you. Guys, stay tuned, because I'm not going offline. That's right. In fact, coming up next is none other than the After Hours Gaming League Week 4 match between Palantir and Xigua. Stay tuned, because I'm about to shoutcast a match in about 6 minutes. So hang on out, ladies and gents. Let's go ahead and get set up. Set up for the match. Hope you had a good time. I'm just going to put on a little bit of silence for a moment, and then I'm going to play music.